In this video, I'm going to show you guys how you can finish a production order when there has been no output. So this is a question I get asked a lot where there's been a little bit of consumption, there's been a little bit of output, but they haven't actually finished a quantity and put anything into inventory. So in this video, we'll take a look at that. Just some small notes. You have to turn the capability on in the manufacturing setup, so I'll show you where to look for that. And then also there's just a new setup on the general posting setup where you need to make sure that for the combination of your general business posting group and the general product posting group, you have set up the inventory adjustment account. So let's jump into Business Central and take a look at that. So here we are in Business Central. So I've got this released production order here. If I were to look here at my item ledger entries, I'm able to see that there were some screws that were forward flush when I changed the status from firm plan to release, so there's been some consumption. And if I were to look at my capacity or my labor, I can see that there's actually also been some forward flushing of this body assembly work as well. So I've got some history, I've got some ledger activity, but you'll notice here that I have a remaining quantity and no finished quantity. So as I mentioned in previous versions, if I were to try to change the status of this to finished, it would tell me that there's no output. And I would have to do something like output a quantity, but then adjust it out with the same cost to kind of close the loop on this. Now I can go into the manufacturing setup. I can indicate that I allow finishing a production order with no output. So this is something that I can turn on. It's on or off, and that means that it's available for any production order. So it's not order or item specific. And then now what I can do is I can change the status. Just like I was able to see before, I can change the status here to finished. I can choose whether or not I want to update the unit cost. And then here, this is that new Boolean where I can change the status to finished and say yes. I'm prompted. It lets me know that there's output that's missing. Do I still want to finish? So I'm asked to confirm just to make sure, but I'm good with this. I'm not making this. Again, maybe the customer called and canceled, or maybe for some reason I want to scrap it and create a new production order later. For a variety of reasons, I may do this, but I'm going to go ahead and finish. It's let me know that there's some consumption that's still missing. And again, if my intention is not to finish off this order, this may be perfectly fine. So I'm going to confirm that. So there were some items that were backward flush, but you can see now that it has changed from released to finished. If I were to go into the finished production order, I can see this item here. I can see that there was never a finished quantity, but I could still go ahead and look at my item ledger entries. So here I've got my screw that was consumed previously, and I've got capacity ledger entries. So again, easy peasy, able to finish the production order with no output, something new in the latest release. For any suggestions or any feedback that you'd like to send along, please feel free to reach out. I'm always looking for just everyday tips and tricks that would help people use Business Central as everyday users. Have a great day.